filming at my parents' house while I'm on vacation. There we go. Video game themed background. Challenge runs have been getting really big on YouTube lately. I mean, even I took a stab at one, and it was a ton of fun. I mean, it is a great way to breathe new life into a game that you have played absolutely exhaustively. And, you know, I have like 0 hours on record with No More Heroes. I really needed this, you know, no upgrades challenge. Alternate title for this video is Guy Complains That He Sucks at No More Heroes.
By the way, the title and the opening are only a framing device. I am not going to be treating this like a challenge video. This is a Heemin gaming review through and through. I'm going to go level by level and boss by boss and talk about things that I liked and things I hated. First off is a plus. This game is gorgeous. I am so happy I am playing the Switch for. These graphics need to be funneled through an HDMI cable. I cannot fathom playing the Wii original. These graphics are so beautiful. Putting them through an RCA cable should be labeled as a federal crime. Capital punishment! Speaking of crime, you are a hitman. I think Travis went to like a fight club and he was told that he was like the number 11 hitman in the country, and the assassin organization wants him to kill the 10 assassins above him. Okay, cool. Straightforward premise. Now, one complaint I do have is how unbelievably sophomoric this game is. Mature is not the word I would use to describe it. Maybe 17-year-old is right. They might find this game funny, but like, seriously, your beam sword has a battery, and to recharge it, you do this.
Oh, hold on, I completely forgot. This game was originally on RCA cables. That man is clearly churning butter. Wait, did we still churn butter by hand back then?
Also, I feel like this game is trying to tell a smart story. Everything seems self-aware. There's just a way the whole thing is being presented that I just feel like there's something, but keep in mind, I am too dumb to upgrade my character past the base stats that they have, so there's no way I'm gonna be able to decipher the intellectual allegory they're attempting to portray.
Yes! Well, let me say, as an academic, I do quite enjoy the emblematic symbolism of No More Heroes and the fact that Travis needs to churn butter to rejuvenate his katana.
Alright, so the first level is a good tutorial like any game. You slice up the dudes and then you watch the comical amount of blood fountain out of every poor creature you meet up with. Then the number 10 ranked assassin is right in front of you. Both of you spout a little bit of philosophy on one another, and then it is murder time. You dodge all of his attacks, you counter-attack, and then all in all, it's a perfectly standard first level. Then you meet up with the lady running the assassination agency, Zsa Zsa Gabor.
You know, I don't even think everybody in my audience is gonna be knowing what RCA cables are. Why on earth did I think that they were going to know a 1930s Hungarian actress? Wait, why do I know who Zsa Zsa Gabor is?
Anyway, she congratulations you and then encourages you to kill all the assassins to become number 1. And then Travis is charming as ever.
Okay, how about this? If I become number 1, will you do it with me?
Maybe.
And now for the sneaky part. Okay, so this is all framed as you being a hitman, but you are not a murder for hire. You need to pay to kill the next person. It's starting at 50,000 and then increasing 50,000 per level. And you earn the cash by doing little mini games, which at first I thought was a little bit annoying. However, I just spent over 110 hours playing Rune Factory 5, and I remembered that you only got a festival mini game every 10 hours. And that's exactly what these little things are, so I'm actually pretty hyped. You know, oddly enough, this game was also made by Marvelous. But get this, when you boot up the game, they show this little video. Executive producer Yasuhiro Wada. I know I've heard that name before. Okay, this is the third-person fighters. Is it him? Or him? Maybe him? Hold on, I gotta look this up. No way! Yasuhiro Wada is the creative mind behind Harvest Moon, and this! The same guy who wants you to give a fish to the priest also makes the ultra-violent, head-hacking, F-bomb dropping, butter-churning game! Actually, you can make butter in Harvest Moon, so I guess it checks out. And while we're on the minigames, I got a question. Who was in charge of balancing these? Okay, you unlock one game per kill, but they are not created equal. For example, gathering coconuts. That's a good harder. I'm not really hankering for another go, but lawn mowing? Okay, pretty good, like that one. Oh, okay, Oregon gas station attendant. Just fill up the cars, 2,000 per car. But the next couple games, okay, clear graffiti and wrangle some kitties. With those two, you need to navigate all the way over to the art or the feline. Then you actually need to go through several button prompts, and you know how much you get for that? 2,000 per. Why would you ever play these minigames? I am not gonna go walking looking for tedious button prompts when every 3 seconds I can have a car delivered to me, fill up the meter for the same payout. The good news is that every single level gets you about half of the money you need for the next one, and then you only need to play 2 minigames, and after the first minigame, you actually get to do a hitman job. There's like one where you need to assassinate the CEO of
Pizza Butt.
And I think my favorite is one where you get 90,000 for killing 100 guys with 1 health.
Their heads torn from their shoulders and red blood fell like rain. What?
But now that I've spent a lot of time looking at what happens between the missions, I can focus purely on the missions themselves. So mission number 2, or as I'll be calling it, number 9, since I need to kill the 9th ranked assassin, has me going to the local baseball field. And on the inside, it's, you slice up some guys, but they actually do have this pretty cool batting minigame. You really gotta put the Wii's motion controls to work, so the harder you swing, the more guys you actually kill. I thought that was pretty cool. What's not so cool is the bosses. They're kind of annoying. You go from basic enemies who only take like 5 hits to kill to guys who take literal hundreds, okay? Hundreds of hits to kill. Basic enemies, attack them anytime you want. The bosses will block every single one of your hits. Even if you're attacking, they won't get staggered, but they will mess you up fine. This first guy's weapon is a revolver. You keep on the move. If he doesn't attack, slash, slash, slash. Then after a bit of that, you gotta stop and churn some butter, and then once you get his health down, both of you put your weapons away. Now, I perceived this as an old western shootout, They give me a button to press, and when he goes for his gun, this is actually a quick time event. I failed to press that button in the extremely generous 2-second window, and then I lost all of my remaining HP. Okay, so what do I have to do? I have to do the whole fight again? That's not fair! I didn't know we were doing QTEs, now I have to do... That was like an over 10-minute battle, and I know I gotta do it all over from the beginning. Oh, man. But I go through the whole dang thing, immediately slam that button prompt, and open his chest like a can of Prego. Actually, wait, don't those come in like glass jars?
The Enlightenment writer Voltaire, when asked on his deathbed to repudiate the devil, said, "This doesn't seem like a good time to be making enemies."
After that, Sylvia shows up to clean up the body, and we go to the rank up screen with music that is just so everly tenderly straddling that line between copyright infringements with our old buddy Star Wars. Then we earn some money and head off to rank number 8. The level is a high school, and it's all fine, but there are some enemies that just light you on fire, and you just take constant damage until you can find an extinguisher. And even with the huge damage I took from them, I never died. But the strangest thing of all is that they never used this enemy again. Anyway, it's boss time. And now that I've beaten the game, I feel like I might be able to beat Shinobu pretty easily, but for the 2 hours I spent with her, it was pure hell. She freaking cheats, okay? Once again, hundreds of hits, she has to initialize every single attack, and you need to respond appropriately or get damaged. 1/4 of her attacks can't even be counterattacked. If she is near a wall or a pillar during your counterattack, she'll kick off of it for free. And whenever you lock blades, and here's the thing, blocking blades is a very common mechanic. Whenever you attack at the same time as an enemy, you need to spin the Joy-Con, and then you usually get an insta-kill on the enemy. I absolutely never lost to a common enemy, and I absolutely never beat a boss. So you lock blades, 3 free slices to your chest, which only compounded my frustration with this battle. But the 2 things that really gobbled my ghoul was her insta-kill move. Okay, normally, she has this attack. I like this one a lot, If I stand 10 feet in front of her, she'll slash, she'll end right in front of me, and then I just land a few attacks. Beautiful. Well, I spend about, let's say, 15 minutes whittling down her HP, and then she'll also get this attack. This one charges forward about 25 feet, and if it hits you, you die outright, We don't care what your HP is at. You are done, son. But the one that really just... Okay, so I was on point. I was dodging, counterattacking. You could put this run in a museum because it was art. Now, she has this little attack called Sonic Blade. It's an unblockable strike. It does a decent amount of damage, and it knocks you to the ground. but if you get her HP low enough, she gets a considerable amount of extra strikes. So she started charging that attack. I know what it was, but I got ready to dodge it, but then the camera wonked out, and somehow I managed to take every single attack. And wouldn't you guess it, Travis and my perfect run died right there. But eventually, my 2-hour probationary period with Shinobu ended, and I managed to avoid all of her BS and not kill her. Yeah, Travis, for all of his flaws, doesn't want to kill a high school girl. But I still get that number 8 spot and move on to the next fight, after doing a couple of minigames to get the money for the entry fee. On to the subway, which is just excellent level structure. You know, you go from car to car, lobbing off heads. But less excellent was later because they had gun guys. Frick, man. Okay, so the damage from most enemies is laughable at best, except the gun guys. Mostly because once you get hit, you are stunned until that entire clip riddles you. Just look at the zip gun guys from laters in the game. Oh, maybe. Is that a zip gun? Like, okay, I heard the term zip gun in West Side Story when I was younger, but I've never really heard the word zip gun since then. The other problem with the gunners is that they shoot you in the back. Here I am, having a good time, fighting some schmuck, and then I get blasted from off screen. Like, yeah, what's happening? Oh! And then you gotta disengage, and then go chase that guy down. Hey, dude, I just want to... Hey, come on, dude, I just want... Dude, come on! Oh, get back here, you piece of shit! But the boss was pretty good. Destroy Man. I kind of wish they showed you the names when you ranked up, so you can kind of wonder, like, ooh, what's a Destroy Man? I mean, they do show you the names when you enter the level, but here's Destroy Man. She's just the most dishonorable dude out of them all. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised Travis gets to start with a full HP bar because, ooh, yike, cool. But like all bosses, he has moves that you have to identify, move into position to avoid the damage, and then get in a few strikes of your own. Actually, it might be a little easier with Destroy Man since he's a superhero who has to call out all of his attacks. But yeah, this fight was probably one of the highlights of the game. Can't really say the same for the next fight. Okay, well, it wasn't horrid, but what you need to understand is this is a Wii game, meaning shoehorned in motion controls. Usually when you're chopping up guys, you finish them off with a whoosh. The problem is that for some reason, I could rarely get the game to register a downward whoosh. And while the next level was really nothing worth mentioning, just a short beat with undetectable landmines, the boss... Well, actually, before I even get to the boss, I want to show you one of the most striking bouts of incompetence in my entire life. Like seriously, this is something else. Okay, so I didn't really mention this, but before every single battle, Sylvia gives you a call and says, if you win, then your rank goes up. If you lose, you go to Tartarus. The odds of you losing are always a number above 100%. It's always ascending. Now use the bathroom, and then while this is happening, you go on a long walk. And this right here is the first time I needed to use a walkthrough in this game. Okay, I got stuck here. I looked all around. I tried attacking this. I couldn't figure it out, and the solution was so embarrassing. I didn't try going around it. Alright, Holly Summers. So she pulls a Team Rocket and has put several pitfalls around the level. And after several restarts, you kind of learn where they are, but honestly, on my last run, I kind of just activated them all on purpose so I'd have visual indicators. Anyway, when you fall into a trap, she throws in a little grenade with you while you try and attempt to clamber on out. By tapping A, easy. Waggling a remote, well, at least I got out of the hole. Aside from her chicanery, this was actually a pretty decent fight. The next level. Oh boy, they poured their entire budget into this level design. If I had to describe it in one word, linear. If I had to describe it in 2 words, bullcrap, okay. About 5 minutes of walking down this and then, oh, I gotta kill that thing. Oh, no. Some lad named Henry killed it. Okay, I guess I'm rank 5 now. Cool, like, yes. And now, I get to go on a date with Sylvia to the next fight. Okay, first I clear a subway station of dudes, and then I fall asleep, and I play a shoot 'em up for 5 minutes. Cool, I think? Oh, and then there's like the mandatory phone call from Sylvia. I only mention it because, you know, every single time she says the odds of me failing the battle, this is the only one where she says that I will succeed at the battle.
But I am 1,800% positive that you will die here. Today you are going to win with 2,000% certainty.
But anyway, I leave the subway and I meet up with Sylvia. Her and I enter the theater, and then I get called on stage to fight Harvey Moistowicz Wolodarski. This battle might be the worst in the whole game. I don't know, number 2 was pretty bad, but you know what, screw it, this was the worst battle. And I'm not even gonna mention his health, the highest yet hundreds of hits. I'm not even gonna mention that it takes a super long time, because in between each attack he waits a few seconds to disappear for a couple of seconds, and then he reappears. His stupid unblockable spin move. I mean, it's really hard to get away from him if you're locked onto him, so if you drop the lock on, you'll just start running the way that you're pointing the control stick, which is away from him, but now it's towards him, so you get hit. I'm not gonna mention the fact that after a third of his health drops, he has a new move where he just turns the whole thing screen upside down, or that when you fail a blade lock with him, he turns your sword into a magical girl staff for a few seconds. No, the one thing I want to talk about is this. Huh? What? Why can he just kill you like that? Much like Shinobu, I am having the run of my life. I have over a full heart of health, and he is like one hit from death, and then there's a motion control based escape. Dead.
All this shouting and running about, what's happened?
I had him. His throat was there beneath my hand.
Oh hey, is that No More Heroes?
No, I had him! His HP was there, and I'll never get that far again!
Good riddance, you freaking Drango! Alright, next level. You know, I just got scammed by a boss, so I guess it's only fair that normal enemies did me in here. So it puts me on a bus, cool changer's perspective, and...
I'm sorry, what?
I am completely flabbergasted. Is video games supposed to be fun? Is this parodying a fun video game? That was stupid! Boss was pretty cool though. I'm pretty sure the cutscene beforehand was glitched though. I cannot hear a thing that they're saying, and I scarcely have a clue what's killing him. Yeah, okay, so the boss is just a long hallway with little side cubby holes to hide in while you approach it. If you get caught by the meme, your HP and your energy get severely drained, so make sure you churn some butter in between that. Also, they don't tell you this, but you can hack open the doors for hiding spots. I felt like the hiding spots were just perfectly spaced, so you'd always arrive just in the nick of time. Once you get about 75% through the stage, you cannot make it to the next cubbyhole. So you gotta make your own cubbyhole. And while I did for the most part like this boss, the end is just a complete prank on the player. So I cleverly navigated down the passageway, beat the enemies inside, and then I made it to the closest possible nook. I churned my sword to full, I waited for the beam to fire, and then I charged! The beam fired there, which I found a little annoying. I guess that makes a no-hit run just straight up impossible. But I absorbed the shot, getting knocked back as little as the game would allow. Then I went in for the final strike. I played this perfectly. Alright, lady, time to... Why is it... Apparently, you can't beat Speedbuster by approaching her. Once you make it, I don't know, 90% of the way, I guess, you're supposed to know, without anything telling you, that this piece of the environment right here is destructible and will actually set off a domino effect that will leave Speedbuster completely defenseless. You know, when I beat Holly, she made fun of Travis for his inability to kill females, but he decapped this woman like it was his God-given birthright. The next level, oh gosh. Okay, look, if you're playing No More Heroes, for the love of all that is sacred, behind the motel is a building that will upgrade your sword. Go to it and buy that upgrade. No living human should have to go through what I did. The level is completely forgettable compared to the boss. Okay, I just checked my footage. Okay, it starts out with you on your motorbike and you get run over too. This is very fun. I did it for about 20 minutes, but nothing happened. Eventually, I got knocked over the motorbike, and even though I've killed everyone at least 10 times a pop, you need to kill everyone with the sword at least once, so I can't really comprehend why they even let you use the motorbike. Then you kill a couple more dudes, and then you get to... Bad Girl. Bad Girl is easily in my top 5 hardest bosses of all time, right behind Sans. But I would easily take Sans any day of the month over this chick. Oh my gosh! So she has 5 attacks that she likes to do. The first one is this multi-hit move. My favorite part is that sometimes she uses this one before you get control of your character. Oh, I just love starting a 20-minute battle with a cheap shot. She also has this other move which is pretty great for the first half of the battle because it can easily be dodged and countered. But later in the fight, she lights her bat on fire, which makes it so that this move pierces your defense. I had a couple of battles where she would actually get access to the unblockable version before the cutscene where she lights her bat on fire. Very cool. You know, the most annoying part is that you have to read her attack, and if you don't dodge appropriately, you are losing about a 1/10 of your health. But when you do react ever so perfectly, you get to add 2 or 4 strikes to her 250 hit health bar. And since this is a No More Heroes fight, naturally this 20-minute battle has an insta-kill move. So she'll start crying in the middle of the battle, and you know, the death screen tip actually mentions this. Bad Girl can be extremely dangerous when she pretends to cry. Spot the subtle differences in her crying poses. Excuse me? What an utterly worthless tip. Unless you mention what the differences are, how can I compare? You think the player is willing to put 10 minutes into a fight just to risk their life on the chance that maybe her animation is different than the insta-kill one? All for a chance to knock 3 hits off the 250 hit toll? No way, Jose! I'll tell you what the difference is, though. If both of her hands are covering her face, you can get in there and slice her up. But if one hand is on the bat, you're gonna want to keep your distance. Well, actually, you're gonna want to get kind of close so you can punish to take that smidge off the massive health bar, but don't get too close. Are you insta-kill moves indeed? However, the worst thing that Bad Girl does is at 2/3 health, she will attack you with dudes. She sends in like 3 at a time, and they're tough to fight when there's 3 of them. They're all just attacking. But with proper timing, you can actually knock them back at her, you know, like an actual baseball. But the timing is super specific. She can hit the dudes back at you, and the damage for missing is so much. On the run where I finally won, I decided not to mess around with this mechanic at all. I'll let her knock them in, I'll kill the 3 dudes, because I am not taking the massive HP penalty. Frickin' finally! 3 hours? Okay, I am the 2nd ranked assassin. After you earn the money to pay for the final fight, Travis calls this number that he got, and it's actually Sylvia's mom, and she says, "Oh, so sorry, but Sylvia's a con artist. But hey, if you're number 2, you might as well win the whole kit and caboodle." And now, hey, that guy's stealing my bike! And I don't know why they have your bike stolen. I mean, it means you need to walk to the next part. It's a pretty long walk, but then your bike is parked right there, because the next section is a biking section. Winning this whole thing is pretty easy. It's just like 5 minutes of holding the boost, dodging obstacles, hopping over trees, and ooh, gotta go fast! Oh, and also, you need to know that here, there will be a half-second window to do something that you haven't done yet in the game, and if you don't, you will die and be redoing the whole section over again. Now for the Lost Woods. They have a bunch of sword guys here, which are actually a bit of a pain to fight. They can take multiple hits, they do a decent job of blocking you, and they're basically just a huge pain. However, in this section, you can just run past them and go whichever way the ghost is pointing without fighting them. And then you get to Darkstar, who claims to be your father and then dies. And then you meet Jean, who has a funny conversation with you and actually speaks in a huge sped up thing. I won't be showing it here though, because if all the blood in this video hasn't demonetized me, she says all of the forbidden words. But don't worry, because there's like a million videos on YouTube that has the conversation slowed down. I know this because I saw a ton of them when trying to find a walkthrough for this fight. And by the way, I couldn't find a walkthrough that would help me, because apparently everybody but Chet knows that you can upgrade your katana, and everybody just used an attack that I just frankly didn't have access to.
Wait, how is he doing a multi-hit? Also, why is his sword green? You know what, it's probably just some New Game Plus stuff.
So with completely worthless walkthroughs, no tips on how to even fight Jean, I have to say, she is the most perfect boss for me. Jean is not easy, but it is the perfect fight for Chet, because her attacks are very hard to dodge and counter. But if I focus 100% of my attention on her, I can actually do pretty well. But there's a little bit of mundanity between attacks. and it's a 15-minute boss battle. And because of my ADHD-riddled mind, sometimes while I'm playing, I'll get a little distracted. Just by like little things like, oh, that dragon kind of reminds me of Avatar, or what should I have for dinner? And at these moments, I'm only paying 80% of attention to the fight, and I get dergled. I need to overcome my own personal weakness and keep myself completely focused on the game, and I am rewarded by landing the hits I need to claim victory and the #1 spot. Alright, see the ending? Wait, see the true ending?
To unlock the true ending in No More Heroes, you need to upgrade your sword. Upgrade your sword. What the fuck?!
So apparently, yeah, I did a challenge run. You can beat all the bosses without a single sword upgrade, VHSs, or even the gym. But for the real final boss, you do need to buy a couple of upgrades. So I went and did the bike minigame like 15 times, bought those upgrades, and then I viewed the true ending. So Travis is taking a dump, and then some fool kicks in the door, and he's gonna kill Travis for the #1 spot. But then Sir Henry, back from fight number 5, slices the dude in half and tells you to get dressed and to meet him outside. And then he's going on about how I'm dishonorable and my existence shames those that I've killed. Like what? I got electrocuted for shaking Destroy Man's hand after he tried to shoot me in the back after I willingly turned around for him. I got my head smashed in for trying to comfort Bad Girl. I allowed Harvey to restrain me for his act. I let Speedbuster set up her cannon. I spared 2 combatants, and he has the gall to call me dishonorable? Actually, no, he has absolutely no room to talk because much like other no-hero bosses, he has an insta-kill attack. I will not be lectured on honor by anyone who stooped to that level of poppycock. He's kind of like Gene in the fact that I was doing good as long as I focused, except he's got an Irish accent, so every time he spoke, I always thought about Alexander Anderson's quote, so fighting distracted got me hurt. And 1 out of his 4 attacks comes out immediately while you're counterattacking him, so my health slowly dropped over the course of the entire battle. Then I went and watched a playthrough, and apparently if you dodge to the right instead of the left, you get in a lot of attacks and wrestling moves in on the guy.
So what now? We're to be 2 immortals locked in an epic battle until Judgment Day and the trumpets sound. Or you could surrender.
I know. Too bad there won't be a sequel.
Well, you're not completely wrong.
'Cause there's 2!
Alright, time to decide the next game that we're going to be playing on the Patreon picks. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that there and get a spin.
So I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons, because without them, I straight up wouldn't be playing games like this, and you know, this was pretty fun. And the patrons I want to thank that were, you know, patronizing me through the months that it took me to make this one were Wolfster25, Matthew Mellison, Saint, Zach H, Amelia Smith, Alpha, Ben Z, Brandon Martin, Guy Aranos, Nicole Norman, Elia, and the very, very fun one to say, River Bibble. Alright, what card are we pulling out?
Feel my way. Feel the game. Feel the game. The game. There's a lot in here. I gotta just grab one. Okay. Oh, I think we get it. I think we got our next one. No, this is Transistor. It takes so long to get all of these out, so I only do it like once per year. I gotta look at every one individually, and then so we'll choose a different one, which will be this one. Poke Park. Shono. March 2018 is when I put this one in. All right, Poke Park. I think I'm gonna have to go onto YouTube to find a copy of that. Not eBay. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you later.